shelter. From yonder storm.
You're right guys, Shazza here, back again for another review, and today we are going to be looking at the PLUME clone from Acerig. The original was made by Aethertech or Aethertech, I think that's how you pronounce it, and the price of that was £75. The clone was sent through by Vapes, so thank you for that, and the price of this is £16.99. And what are the features of the PLUME and the PLUME clone itself? The main thing for this is that there are basically three sections where you get airflow from. You get airflow from your top cap itself, there's two holes there, and you can actually adjust it by adjusting your drip tip. There is a Delrin insulator in there that you adjust, and you can also adjust the chamber so you can get more flavour from that as well. You also have adjustable airflow on the tank section, which is a Cyclops design, and you can actually adjust that while it is on the mod itself. And then lastly, you also get airflow actually going through the negative post. So it almost acts like a vacuum effect, which creates a really dense, thick vapour and also creates a lot of flavour. Another feature about this, on the actual deck itself, on the clone and on the original, it's a gold plated deck, and on the clone I believe it's 0.006 inches thick plating. You've also got peak insulators, which don't quote me to this, but I'll put it in obviously in the spec before we do the close up. It's around about 650 degrees C, the peak insulator. It's a 22mm atomizer as well. It's a brush finish, and it also comes in a really nice wooden box, which is obviously similar to the Akuma mod. So what we'll do now is we'll go up close, I'll show you how I've been building it, and then obviously we'll come back as well, and then I'll give my final thoughts. So let's go down to the table. Okay, so here you have the box that the PLUME clone comes in, and as you can see it's the same sort of box as the Akuma clone, and that's because they are made by Acerig. And when you open the box up, it's a really nice box there, really nice presentation. You are going to get a screwdriver, some spare screws and some spare O-rings. And then this is how your actual atomizer is presented. You've got your drip tip here, and then you've got the atomizer itself. So here you have your drip tip, which is a single O-ring, and it comes in a brush finish, and you've also got a matching symbol on the top which matches the atomizer itself. It's also quite a wide drip tip here, but the bore isn't absolutely huge, it's just a standard bore on there. And then you get your atomizer, and as you can see this is stainless steel, it's a slight brush finish on it, and then the engravings are also really tidy on the clone. You know, on the original I think some of these engravings were wonky and stuff like that, where this one isn't. And then you've got your top cap, which is obviously where you put your drip tip in. And then you've got all of these airflow channels, which I will explain in a minute. And then on the bottom itself, you've got a gold-plated base and a gold-plated 510 for conductivity. And as usual, you know, any bits of tissue, any thumbprints, etc., you know, this did come perfect. It's just because I have been using it. So let's have a look at the top cap to begin with. So the top cap is a single O-ring, is the first thing that you will notice, and then you also get these slots here to adjust your airflow. So you've got two opposing slots for if you are dual coiling, and then one slot here for if you are single coiling. And then you've also got a insulator here, and the key feature about this is that it is actually adjustable. And the way that you adjust this, you are going to get your drip tip, and I would just put my finger inside where the Delrin is and push this down like so, just to fit it in. And then as you can see on here, you've also got two airflows holes, one there and one there. And basically what the top cap does, it makes this adjustable airflow, because when you screw the drip tip in, you will see that this Delrin insulator moves down and comes out. And the way that you adjust your airflow on the top section, when you unscrew this so that the Delrin is at the top, it actually cuts off all of the air holes so the air can't get through here. But when you lower this, like so, it opens up so that air can get inside here, through the gaps, and up here. A really, really clever design. And then this is your tank section, and as you can see, you've got a slot here for airflow, and you've also got a slot here for airflow if you're dual coiling. And then one thing you will notice is that you also have 3 holes here, and I will explain what those are for in a minute. These holes are around 2 mm in diameter. Now, the way that you adjust your airflow for these is that you get your top cap, and if you are dual coiling, line up these channels here, push that down, and there you go, you can adjust your airflow. And you can adjust this while the atomizer is on the mod itself. You don't have to take the top cap off. So there you go. And here you have the deck itself. So the first thing that you will see is that this is a 4-post design here, and the actual negative posts are milled onto the deck. And also you have got some nice big Phillips head screws here, and the base as well is a gold plated deck for conductivity. So with it being 4-post as well, it does make it really easy to build, because each hole, you know, you can use for a coil. So you could, for dual coil, you'd use this one, and then obviously on this side you'd use that one and that one. And also this does adjust if you unscrew the actual screw on the 510, so that you can move this about, you know, if you obviously choose to. And you have also got here a double O-rings as well, which is nice. Now, the thing that does set this apart from other atomizers is these 2 holes here. So you've got 1 hole there and 1 hole there, and they are also for airflow. Now, if you can see there, the air would travel through here and travel through that hole. Let's get a screwdriver. It travels through, there's a hole here and a hole here. Now, and what that does, it travels through and cools your coils on either side. Now, you might be thinking, well, obviously you put your tank section over there, so how is air going to get through? But with your tank section, as I showed previously, you've got these 3 holes here. Now, what you do is you actually line up the hole like so, and obviously on the other side you've got your hole there. Now, on the clone itself, as you can see, this one, the hole goes all the way through, where this one is not all the way through, so they are not even, but you know, it's not too bad at all there. Now, to get the best out of this when you are building it, okay, because you need to get your airflow through to your coils through here, you would need to build your coils here and here, and that's on that hole setting. Obviously, if you know, there is several ways to build this, so you just basically adjust this, you know, any way obviously you want to build it is down to you. So if you did it that way, again, you'd have to build your coils, you know, in the middle, etc. So overall, airflow wise, you've got airflow here, And here you've got your airflow here also. Obviously they're not lined up at the moment yet. This is one thing that is maybe a slight downside to it, that you do have to get these holes lined up if you want to get the best from it. So you've got airflow there, airflow there, airflow there, airflow there, and then you've also got your airflow on the top cap. And also one thing that this does, this top cap, when you screw this down itself, you're actually, you can adjust the reduction of the chamber, which obviously helps for flavour as well. So there you have it. It's really, really innovative design. So what we'll do now is we'll get it built. So the way that I'm going to be building this today, I'm going to be building this dual coil now, and I'm also going to be putting the coils through these post holes here. As you can see as well, the post holes are nice and big, so you can get some decent sized canthal in there. Now all you're going to do is just unscrew these like so that the holes are nice and open. Now when I did receive this, I think it was this one here, the screw was just stuck slightly, but it wasn't an issue, it came off easily, etc. And all you're gonna do is just get your coil. And what I'm going to be using today is 8 wraps of 0.42 canthal. And then you're just going to basically, couldn't really get any easier, slot your coils through these legs like so. Just trap it down and then screw these down. And then just repeat on the other side. And once you've done that, okay, what I would do, obviously just make sure that, check all of these, that nothing is moving about. So just, wobble your legs, just check that the coils aren't moving, check that everything's obviously trapped, and then just cut each leg off. Just make sure everything's nice and tidy. Like so. Now just to give you an idea of what I mean by you'd have to have your coils across here, if I just left it like that, so that's how you would set up a standard dripper, isn't it? Yeah, and then you just adjust your airflow, etc. Now because these actually have holes here, airflow holes here, and you need to use those to get the best out of this, and it also has holes here. If you line up your hole to the far right hand side one, like so. If you have a look at the actual airflow slots there, they are not lined up. Yeah, so these slots in the middle, they are not lined up, okay? So you just need to change it slightly. And the way that you're going to do that, or the way that I've been doing it, there are several different ways to build this, but this is the way that I've been doing it anyway. You're just going to get your screwdriver and then just push your coil across. And then do the same on the other side. Just push it across. And just move these back a bit so that they're closer to the air hole. And then you should notice that when you put the air hole on the right hand side one, your coils are a lot closer then, and you can even move those even more. So what I'll do now is I'll just move them a little bit and then we'll get some cotton in. And once you've done that, obviously just check it on your own meter. So mine is coming out at 0.5 and that's with 8 wraps of 0.42 on either side. And just check that that you've sort of got an equal glow on them. They're not perfect, but they're glowing up near enough equally. Okay, now obviously what I would do is, once again, before you build it, just double check that everything is lined up. I use the far right hand side one for this build that I do. And once that hole's lined up, just double check that your coils are close to the air hole slots. And traditionally with a normal dripper, you'd want to get them closer than that, but you can get away with it on this one because you're obviously getting airflow that goes through here and then goes through your negative posts and cools the coils. You've also got your airflow through these slots here, which obviously cools your coils, and then you've got your airflow slots there if you choose to use them also. So now that it's built, I'll show you how to put your cotton in. Okay, so tips for building this. Obviously, firstly, just check, as I said before, that everything's glowing on your battery as well, before you check it obviously on your DNA, whatever you're using. Firstly, as you can see, you've got your drip well here, and it is sort of gives you an idea of where you want your cotton to be. One thing I would definitely say, sometimes when you build drips, etc., you can stick your cotton through your actual post through these sections, can't you? The gaps in between the posts. With this, you don't want to do that because it's going to restrict this hole here, so it's going to stop the airflow. So you don't want any cotton through there. Okay, so all that I do is obviously just get your cotton, stick it through, and then what I would do, sometimes I wrap this one underneath. With this one, I would wrap this one underneath your coil, just so that there's then no way that that air hole is going to be covered. And then just cut this side off round about there, and then just push this one down here like so, and that is about right. And then you're just going to do the same on the other side. So as you can see, the holes, it's got all the room for your airflow to go through here. So this is what it should look like once you've built it. Now, a couple of things just for tips, the way that I found I'm getting the best from it. You don't want any cotton, covering your coils, because if you do, it's going to reduce the ability to cool your coils from this way. You also, as I said previously, you don't want any cotton down here because it's going to reduce obviously the airflow coming through here also. And with this, with some cotton, with some drippers, I absolutely pack them full of cotton, where this is not a lot for me at all, the way that I do mine. So once you've done that, you're just going to put your juice on, and the juice that I am using today, I'm just using some 3 milligram 70 VG, and it's Cherry Tunes, which is a British concentrate, the people who make those. Now, one thing I have found with the Plume Veil is that if you do overfill this, you are going to get leaks going through those Cyclops air holes on the side. So you don't want to fill it too much. Just a few drops to begin with, then see how it goes. And then obviously just test it. Yeah, it's got loads of vapour there. And then, as said previously, the way that I build it, just use that one, that far right hand side one, the hole on the side. Just put it over like so. Then you're going to take your top cap, and because this is dual coil, you want those slots there. Just line them up like so, and then you can adjust this to however you want it. And then again, if you want to open up your airflow even more, you're going to screw this right down. And then if you want less of an airflow, you're going to screw that right up. And then it's ready to vape. So let's show you what it looks like with some mods on. So here you have it on a patinaed Akuma. As you can see, the actual engravings don't line up, but it lines up on the back, but it still looks really nice. And here you have it with the Vigo clone. And then with the Fortune mod. So as you can see, they do line up, which looks absolutely awesome. And then with my personal favourite, which is the Overdose clone, which is currently, a couple of days into patinaing, which is looking really, really nice. So now I've shown you the Plume Veil in all its glory, all the airflow holes, etc. As you can see, it's really, really innovative. And what we'll do now is we'll vape on it, I'll talk about it, and I'll tell you what I think of it. So, see you in a sec. Alright, so as you can see there, the Plume Veil and the Plume Veil clone are absolutely stacked full of features. It's massively innovative designs there. So let's actually tell you now what I think of it. So we'll start off with the build quality. Okay, so the build quality on this, I will score this a 9 out of 10. It came in perfect condition. Obviously on the close-up there might have been a bit of tissue paper or thumbprints and stuff like that. Obviously this came in perfect condition. There was a couple of tiny issues, hence why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. For example, the screw was just a little bit tight on one of the posts on the ones that are gold plated, and also just slightly the actual one of the airflow holes that goes through the negative posts is just slightly off, probably around about maybe 0.2 of a mil, something like that. So build quality overall, I'm going to give that a 9. And ease of use and easy to build, it's a 4-post design, so it is extremely easy to build on. Okay, now I feel it does take a couple of goes to get it so that it's vaping brilliantly. When I first got this, the first build that I put in it, I didn't watch any videos or anything like that. First build that I put in it, I vaped on it and I thought, well, this isn't really anything special. It doesn't really change, it's not a game changer or anything like that. But then I went back to it and I thought, well, this had rave reviews, so I've got to make sure that the build is right. So I watched a few videos and stuff like that, saw how people were doing it, etc. And when I've found a way that I am pleased, and the way that I find it easy to build, once I've done that, it's amazing. It's really easy. All you've got to make sure that you need to do is just move those coils to the side so that they they do line up with the air hole, and obviously your air hole is actually so that you can see it through those holes. Okay, if you don't do that, you're not going to get the wonderful vape that this deserves. So that is ease of use. So I'm going to give that, once you get used to it, 9 out of 10, absolutely fine. So let's have a look at vapour and flavour. So vapour production on this thing, let's have a look. So that's currently on a 0.5 build, and I've got 3 mg nicotine, 70 VG, 30 PG. So the vapour production on it is fantastic. The reason why it is so good is because you can adjust it to however you want it. You can really open those holes and pump out obviously the vapour, and also by screwing it down you're going to be reducing the chamber as well, so you're going to get more flavour with your vapour as well. Also, I have found that it is a very cool vape. So cool in fact that around a 0.5 build I've been really hitting it on just on 6 mg, and you're not getting a huge throat hit on it, and heat, because you've got so many air holes, and because it's cooling down those coils so much in fact that I reckon you could probably vape 12 mg around 0.5 and it'd be absolutely fine. In fact, let's try it. 12 milligram juice, what have we got? Jungle Funk, okay. Right, I've got some 12 milligram juice, let's give it a go. So, you know, I hope I don't faint or choke or anything like that. We'll see. You know, because I reckon it should be alright, because, you know, 12 milligram normally on a dripper at 0.5, you're going to rip your throat out. But I reckon because it is cooling down so much, you might be able to get away with it. You know what? That 12 milligram is like vaping a 6 milligram juice on a dripper, because it's cooling down that much. It's absolutely fine. The only thing is you get an absolutely massive nicotine hit on it, obviously. So vapor and flavour, the flavour's outstanding, vapor production's good. It's a cool vape, which I like on a dripper because you're getting bags and bags of flavour. So other features that I do like, I love, for me, that you can adjust the airflow on it while it is on the mod. Normally for me, and I say this on all the RDA reviews that I do, if I can't adjust the actual airflow on the mod, it's a downside for me, okay? Where with this you can adjust it, which is fantastic. That's the main thing that I love about this. Also, I do love that you can reduce the chamber so that you can really get that flavour, including the vapour as well. Are there any downsides for this? I suppose there's maybe a couple, but nothing really major. I think when you're setting it up, just to begin with, you just need to make sure that you get those air holes over. If you don't, you just have to take it off, obviously, and put it on again, and then it's set up. Also, if you do, but I suppose this is with any RBA, if you do put too much juice in, it can just come out these sides here, but that's literally, they're the only two downsides. So overall, what am I going to give this? I'm going to score it really highly. I would give it a 10 out of 10 if I could. The only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because the little tiny air hole doesn't match up just, and also the screw was slightly tight. So if it didn't have those, I'd give it a 10 out of 10 all day long. I'm going to, you know, because it is so good, I absolutely love it. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. The flavour on it is amazing. If you're into drippers, if you love drippers, you've got to get one of these, in my opinion. You know, you've got to have one in your possession. If you're not into drippers and you're only into your tanks and you don't really like dripping, you know, you're not going to like it because you don't like drippers. But if you love drippers, you know, this has got everything. Literally every feature you can think of, this thing has it, and it does it well. Sometimes with drippers and stuff, they have features on there just for the sake of it and they don't really work, where all the features on this do work, which is fantastic. So if you do want one of these, they are $16.99 from Kerno Vapes. So if you do want one, obviously check them out. I think at the moment, or when this video is released, this should go up maybe Friday or Saturday. I think they're out of stock. They should be getting them in stock in a couple of days, obviously if you go on there. So yeah, check it out. Really, really, really impressed with this. Just make sure that obviously you set it up, you know, how I have, or watch a couple of videos and see how they set it up. Once it's set up right, and once you obviously get that cotton away from those air holes, the vape is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the review, and most importantly, stay off the stinkies and keep vaping. See you later, guys.
Oh Lord, please bring me shelter from yonder storm.